distance distortion moment. Yeah, I'm going to make this one the replica. The clone's bench. So what were you saying? Yes, I do this rap. You got that? Yeah. The president, since the TV age and Eisenhower, the image of the White House as a president has always been on the ground all the time. So the post-war relaxation and fatigue, people didn't want it. After the exhaustion of the 30s and 40s, they kind of just laid back. Okay? Well, they had a dead being president. And this was outrageous. He was a military guy. He never had a military guy. And he just played golf. And that's not what people, that was a new startling image. Most of these images fascinate the populace. So then you got to have a different kind of image after him. You burst into this exciting new global theater decade, the 60s. So you get this, underground phenomenon of the Catholic being president. And yet he's also a friendly playboy Disney guy. So, anyways, there's a JFK. That threatened everybody, so they had to kill him. The Big Brother power said, wait a minute, we run the show. But this guy is more powerful than us. They started to realize he's more powerful than these propagandists control of the content. And so the resonance and power of Kennedy himself with the TV effect had to be removed. Okay? That's the cause of the Kennedy assassination everybody here. Then the 60s collapsed into depression and overwork and information overload and war and racism and murder. So you bring in the mafia president. Then what comes next? Then you have the interval and the collapse of the president himself. Bring in the Ford. Johnson. He comes in here. You're right. After first of all, once you have the president himself. But he represents the New York lawyer and mafia. Then you have Gerald Ford, a man for all seasons, interval. Then you bring the heavy South, Jimmy Carter.
How about right here?
Who represents small-scale friendly folky. And the friendly folky level of Carter is the beginning of the digital effect when media becomes smaller and smaller. So your president's your local farmer. Okay? So then you have the beginning of the death of communication. We bring in the great communicator. And what's he do? He does phatic waves. That's all he does. Oh, president, and he's an actor. There's the virtual reality. What, they got an actor acting as president? That was too much. That was too meta. So then you have
a little weird.
What?
I always thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
It just looks like this Schwarzenegger's the governor here. That's so hilarious.
But it fits if you understand what I'm talking about.
No, it does.
So then after Reagan, that image is collapsed, and then you have this paradigm shift of the New World Order and a global society coming in, even though it's been global for 100 years, but for the population, with the beginning of the computer hookups, so it's an information society. So who do you bring in? The head of the information programmers, the CIA, just as Gorbachev was the head of the KGB. So then the information society collapses, and then everybody is
money.
What?
Money.
No, it collapses.
Power, money. That's the next president.
No, the next president is the ultimate. The beginning.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the awareness of the Android meme, and that technology is coming alive, and that it's talking back to us, and yet we can interact with it. So you have the age of the internet, the .com boom or the .com 90s, and who's the president? A great communicator, but he's a slippery communicator.
Slick Willie.
Slick Willie. He's a guy that represents the snake-like intertwinedness of digital life, and the other part of him is the guy who claimed he invented the
internet. Yeah.
So and it's really the end of the internet. But when something's over, everybody's using it. It's obsolete, everybody's using it. So the internet, the Android meme dies in 1990. It then offers its corpse to everybody. It's Netscape. Everybody's in it, and the president is Slick Willie. So then you have Y2K, which sold a lot of computers. Were people preparing for that? That didn't happen because there was no Android meme, right? It's been dead 10 years. So I predicted nothing would happen. Nothing happened. So now you're totally in the post-information age. Everybody is sick of the average American, the middle America. They're sick of the media managed images coming out of L.A. and New York. They don't want any Slick Willie or Slick Gore, so Gore hasn't got a chance. And the guy who wins is the guy who just smirks and has nothing to say, just says we're still here and everything's great. Continue shopping. That is the Bush image. All right. In the post-information society, you have a guy who can't communicate. Now we've come to the end of that. All right. There's a need for this new technology. YouTube affected 2006. Just that one thing on George Allen, that politician, he said some word about Mexicans or something, and he was out, right? And that was symbolic of the power of the YouTube threatening. You say anything, you screw up, we'll put you on YouTube. We're faster than the New York Times. And that is a new factor where people they can create their own information fantasy, knowing it's fake, knowing it's a post-information world, but do it anyways, just like swimming and surfing. And we don't care about what anybody else says, and that's the blogosphere also. So what is the presidential image for that? So the Americans are struggling this year with the Obama image, the Hillary image, or the Pentagon McCaine image. Now, if you go on the internet and look in Harold Channer, Bob Dobbs, you'll see what I said on TV in New York a couple weeks ago. And, no, actually on May 22nd, on Thursday. I don't want to say any more about that unless you got some questions.